So I'm a teacher. I've taught all the schools around town, great schools. I love all the schools. So I've taught elementary for a long time. And then when we were living in Austin, we visited this Methodist church that had a preschool, and it was beautiful. So there was just this calling there, I think, where God put it on my heart for early childhood. And shortly after that, we moved back home. And an opportunity came open at the Methodist preschool for 3-year-olds, and I jumped on it. I knew, I told Braun, I texted him, I was in a board meeting and knew there was an opening, and I was like, I'm about to take a job. It was part-time, and I loved it. And so that's where I really discovered who God made me to be as a preschool teacher. Part of my struggle with 5 children is that balance, mom and work, knowing I'm not wired to stay home. I'm not wired to work full time either, so it's hard to find that balance.
Yeah.
And so for years with my book club ladies, my prayer every year was just work, like my job. I know I'm called to be a teacher. And so one day after, kind of a hard day, he was like, why don't you start your own school? And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And that was it.
And I just knew how good she was and that it was God's calling on her life, and so encouraged her to start her own. And like she said, she took it and ran with it.
Yeah, and we had no idea what it would look like. No idea, but God has given me faith. I don't know how to explain it. I'm very grateful.
She has an amazing faith, and she stepped out in that faith, which is a huge struggle for me. So in her faith, in knowing this was the next day, once she made up her mind,
I made a post. I had prayed and just really my ideas. And again, God is so sweet to give me, when it comes to preschool, He gives me good, I don't say good ideas. I'm thankful for what, it just comes from the Lord is all I can say. And so I had a vision that just, was created over just a few days. And so I put a post of what it would be, and I had no idea where it would be, but that it was gonna happen. But I put yoga, gardening, ballet, just outdoor. Really, my vision was creating an outdoor space, a lot of outdoor learning.
So what happened with the post?
It kind of blew up, I guess. Yeah, so it was shared like 70-something times.
Yeah, 76 times. There was all kinds of people that were liking it, and it just took off. And it's like, we're doing this, right? Like, it's going. And at this time, we had no idea where the school was gonna be. This was stepping out on her faith, right? And then we're gonna have a preschool in a few months. And so we began the search, and we found a nice old building.
90-year-old house.
90-year-old house in downtown Ardmore. And we were gonna move forward, in doing that, in purchasing that house. And we had already started building the blinds, they started buying
My mom
everything.
made curtains for all the windows, yeah.
Yes, curtain all the windows. And then on a Thursday night,
Camille Bateman reached out to me and said, hey, there's these buildings out here, would you be interested in having your preschool there? And I was like, no. I was like, thank you, I'm gonna sign a contract tomorrow to buy this place.
the next
the next day, yeah.
we were gonna sign a contract on the house that we were gonna purchase for her preschool. And I walked in as she was saying no to Camille. I was like, hey, what were you saying no to? And she goes, well, they want me to come look at these buildings down the road. I was like, okay. And she goes, but we've got a plan, we're good, And I was like, okay. And I said, well, it might not hurt to look. And then we came out here. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just, it's I don't know, we were speechless. It's.
Yeah, we started walking through, and everything that she wanted was here. Every single thing that she wanted, that God had given her a vision for, was here.
The garden. I was like, there's already this beautiful garden
behind us that she wanted to have, the gardening. And then we started walking to the playground.
Yeah.
And it had balance beams. She wanted balance beams. It had the sand pit. She wanted a sand pit. Like, it was made for Jaclyn's preschool. Like, it was the exact same vision that she had, and it was 2 miles from where we lived, you know? It was.
And then there's the yoga studio.
And then, so to top it all off, she wanted to do Christ-centered yoga, which she's never done before. And we walk over across the way, and there's a yoga studio at this preschool. And we're like, wow.
Yeah.
So we were just blown away. And that was a hard night, though, because we were like, can we afford it? Can we do it? You know, is God going to show us this and us not be able to find a way, right? And so we met the owner on Sunday. That was Thursday night. And I had Jaclyn just share her vision of what the preschool was. And Jeannie started talking about what her vision was for it too. And that's what she's wanted for a long time. And in that, she shared that she had been trying to make stuff work here for over 2 years. And it was in the middle of COVID and all the stuff, but it was a struggle, and everything she tried to do, it just kept roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, and it wasn't working. And she said 2 weeks prior to this, what'd she say?
She surrendered this place.
Yeah, she gave it up to God. And then we show up with the exact same vision, with wanting the exact same things that this place had been built for. And so she just felt like it was a godsend, and that she was so excited because her ultimate vision was to see the land come alive with children. So in December, you know, she reached out to us, and she just felt like that these places were made for us, and she wanted us to have them, and that she had come to a point where she was going to sell them and wanted to sell them to us. And so that was one of the most amazing things, and she's very generous in the offer as well. And it was an immediate yes from both of us. Like, this is exactly what it is. And something we haven't shared yet is that there's 2 buildings. There's the building here for the preschool, and then there's the building next door. The building next door was built as a counseling center, transformation center. She wanted people to feel God's love and really grow. Well, what do? I love to help people grow, and that building was built to do exactly what I do. So not only do we have the preschool built to do what Jaclyn wants to do, but the other building to do exactly what I do. And she found that out as we were going through this process, and that's where she really felt like, wow, these buildings were, the vision was for y'all to have that.
She definitely, so beautiful, but the peace and the joy that she had after all that she invested and created, that it was for us.
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, and I think I was sharing earlier, and, you know, her vision was to see the land come alive with children. So for those few months where Jaclyn was here, she got to sit on the back porch up on the hill and watch the land come alive with children. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So when Jeannie offered to sell us the places, they were going to be separated from the land that she had behind us in the house, and all the things that she had. And in part of that separation, we were going to lose the playground. And in losing the playground, it was really hard for me. But we're still like, hey, we can find a way. But there was no way we could purchase the home and the land and all together that we knew of at the time. And so we really were struggling with it. She put her house on the market. She ended up taking off for a little bit. And during that time, I just watched the kids and my wife in the playground, and I just thought, it just has to go together. So we worked really hard with the real estate agent to try and find a way, like, can y'all just sell us the land right behind here, please? And they just didn't think they could, you know, sell the house with that. As we continued to pray through it, I just kept looking for ways. And after some time, we found a way that we could, and I should say God provided a way, but you know, just we were so fortunate that Jeannie was very gracious and worked with us to figure out a way for us to have the entire place so that she didn't lose the playground. Because to me, it's part of the vision. It all goes together. And what's been really neat and a part of this process is is seeing when you start taking steps in faith, how the resources and the things start showing up. So the kids, the parents, the trust for them as she was moving, the trust they had for her, and then this building already being here that was waiting on us, right? But if we hadn't taken those steps, if Jaclyn hadn't said, I'm doing this, and put it out there, we would have never seen it. That's been one of the most amazing things in this process.
Being here, the environment, everyone that comes is like you feel God's presence. You feel the peace, the joy, the beauty of it all. It just surrounds us. So,
yeah, to be able to step into a place like this that was created to do exactly what we feel like God's called us to do individually and as a married couple, and to be able to have people experience His love out here through both of our passions has just been phenomenal.